We don't have a lot of new information. I can tell you that we've had over 500 volunteers with boots on the ground. We've had law enforcement dive teams from all over the state are currently going through the Looking Glass River. They probably covered at least a mile of it, maybe 2 by now. We're re-going through ponds that were searched last night. The dive teams are going back. We're double checking. We're also asking residents to please check ring doorbells or anything of that nature. Please continue to check outbuildings, deer blinds, things of that nature. Any farmers that may be getting ready to harvest their crops, this rain hopefully will stop that, but please, until they know further, don't do it anytime soon. The search area is expanding in all directions. We've still been unable to locate the young boy. We are doing everything in our power to find him, and we will continue that. But at this time, I have no new information other than we're still working. Tonight at sundown, the volunteers will stop searching except for the trained professional search and rescue teams. At 7 a.m. in the morning, we would like any volunteers that want to come help again in the morning if needed to be here at the Watertown Township Hall starting at 7 a.m. and we'll get back to it as soon as daylight hits. At this time, this is all I have. I will take a couple questions if you have them. Go ahead, Josh.
Do we know how far the search pattern is expanding or the search area is expanding?
I don't know exact distance, but it's grown past where we started initially, and it's going to continue. And then we do come back and double check some of these bodies of water that we've already checked, along with buildings and things of that nature.
And in terms of interviewing folks, I'm sure that was done. Is there any suspicion of foul play or anything?
No, at this time we have no suspicion of foul play. Our detective bureau has interviewed the family, and we did request our friends from the Attorney General's office to also do an interview, just to make sure that we, cover all the bases. And at this point, we're still treating this as a missing child and nothing more. But that we are not eliminating anything.
Okay, there were the AG office and their investigators showed up to assist with interviews.
Yes, we've had people, from every branch that you can think of that have reached out to us or have showed up. We've got search and rescue teams from Van Buren County, Oakland County, Ingham County, and multiple others, along with police officers from all over the state. It's very, it's nice to see everybody come together. We're fortunate to live in Clinton County where we have so many people here that are trying to help, and we appreciate that. You don't see that everywhere.
We know that you guys spoke with neighbors, probably at least 2 people who last saw the toddler wandering in the area. What did they tell you exactly?
One of the people saw the child in a yard north of his home, probably within a quarter mile of his home, but they didn't know that the child didn't belong there. They thought it was odd that he was there by him, out in the yard by himself, but they thought he belonged there. And another one came forward and saw the child just northeast of there, and called. That's the only 2 that we know have actually seen him, and we have taken photos to both of them to confirm that that's indeed who they saw was the boy in question.
Has it helped with the investigation as well as search patterns and where to send people? Has it helped create a timeline essentially?
What do you mean, a timeline as to when he left the house?
Yes.
Well, we have that from witnesses, and the 911 call came in at 2:05. But from the interviews, we understand that the child was out of the house prior to that. The babysitter went to look for him, couldn't find him, and then called 911. So, and we had officers there within minutes. So, yes, ma'am.
Would you mind speaking just to the nature of this case? We have a huge response. It's a very big area, or I guess the right way to phrase this. We have officials from all over the state of Michigan here today, tons of community members. Can you kind of just talk to me about maybe why you think that is and how you guys have been dealing with that?
Well, like I said before, Clinton County is different than a lot of counties. We still have, when somebody needs a roof on their house, the neighbors will come help. and we're seeing that kind of community involvement here. It's just been amazing. But whenever there's a child missing, every law enforcement agency in the state and out of state is concerned and offering to help. We've done it as well when this happens in other areas. We've volunteered, sent people there to help. That's just what law enforcement does. We work together. I cannot express enough how appreciative I am of every agency, MSP, every agency you can think of that's came down here and helped. It's been very humbling, and I'm thankful for that.
Any idea how many other agencies are here supporting?
I don't know that number, but it's a lot. I mean, the state police helicopter has been up almost around the clock. We've had professionals with drones. You know, all of these things have thermal imaging, looking for heat signatures, things of that nature. The amount of technology that's available now, as opposed to when we started our careers, is just amazing, and we're using every bit of that we can. Yes, sir.
What's the child's name?
Jermain Jones. I wanted to make sure I said it right.
Can you spell that question?
Jones is last. Jermain, I don't know exactly how that's spelled.
Yeah, I believe nearly 3 years old.
Yes, almost 3. I don't have date of birth, but I know he's getting close to 3 years old.
Is there an indication at what point this will become a recovery operation?
We are hoping to find him alive. That is our goal, but there's a chance that it could turn to that, like any missing person case. So.
Anything you want the community to know ahead of tonight? I know that earlier going to have a professional teams of searchers and divers out while it's dark. What do you want the community doing as we approach nightfall?
You know, just if you're out and about driving, be vigilant, look around. You see something that doesn't make sense or anything that's out of the ordinary, don't hesitate to call 911. Sometimes people are hesitant to call 911 because they think it's may not be an emergency. Well, 911 is used for everything. This will probably be the last for me today, but I will be back down here in the morning, and if we haven't found him by then, we will let you know. If the child is found between now and the morning, we will put out news releases. And that's what we're praying for. And that's one thing I ask is everybody, please pray that we find this young man. All right. Any questions?
I know you've been probably talking to the family time and time again today. How are they holding up? What can you tell us?
As you would expect, any family that's missing children, I believe they're in shock. I mean, I've seen this before, unfortunately. And, you know, they're handling it as you could imagine a family missing a 3-year-old would handle it. It's heartbreaking.
The next press conference is too far.
Yeah, I'm not going to schedule anything else today. But like I said, if we do locate the young man overnight, we'll put out a news release and it'll go out on our Facebook page. And we'll have another one of these tomorrow if need be. And I'll be around this building probably between, you know, somewhere between 7 and 8. And we can set up a time. I'd need to get briefed before I meet with you all. I mean, I'm going to get briefings over throughout the night, I'm sure, but I want to get a fresh briefing in the morning before I meet with you. Okay?
I mean, Sheriff, how is this affecting your regular day jobs? Everybody is obviously throwing extra effort into this.
All hands on deck. We are, and we have MSP is helping a lot as well. Our road patrol is covering the road, and everybody that's not doing that is basically down here helping. So it doesn't matter what role you have at our office. If you can get down here to help us, we'll put you to work. So. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I mentioned that already. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., we're going to ask the volunteers to come back. Tonight, the searches will be done by professional search and rescue groups. And then tomorrow morning, we'll still have them, but then we'll also use our volunteers. When it's dark, it's a little easier to just go that route after the first night.
Now, is there anything you can add, Sheriff, in terms of the environment? Has that added a little bit of an obstacle during this search? I understand you have a river to work with. There's also farmland as well.
We have a lot of concerns. There's a number of small ponds along with the Looking Glass River and some drainage ditches, and we're talking about a toddler. So that's our biggest concern, is the water. Cornfields are a concern also, but with the thermal imaging that we have available and have been using, every cornfield in the area has been checked and will be rechecked multiple times with the state police helicopter and with our drones. Okay, thank you guys.